Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday, and welcome to the blog workshop. Good morning, Kelly. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Jackie. I'm doing great. How are you?
Yeah, it's a little crazy. Like, everyone is here today, so it's a little bit. There's more to worry about getting started today than most days, but I'm good. I'm really good. Today, we are going to talk about 3 little tips to turn your email list into a thriving community. I was working on an email, but it got a little bit too late, so I haven't got it sent out yet. And I was thinking that there's a big difference between having a list, which is super important and really, really great, and having an engaged list and more of an email community. And this year, that's really been my goal, is to not just have a list. I mean, it's super to have like names and email addresses, but I don't want just a list. I want a community of people who look forward to hearing from me and are really engaged with the things that I'm sending. Which reminds me that we've got a super big announcement coming up at the end of the show. So make sure that you stay tuned to the end because you're going to love it. It's going to be very exciting. So this whole month we've been kind of focusing on email and how to turn not just your list into a community, and we're going to continue on that topic today. Do you have anything to add thus far?
No, but I want to add onto there that I think if you're blogging, I think it's really important. I mean, if you're really blogging as your business basically, or even if you're just, I don't know, blogging for fun, I guess, having your email list be more than just people that you shoot out emails to every so often, I think it's really important. I think that, you know, these are people, we've said before, these are people that want to hear from you, obviously, because they signed up to get your newsletter. So you know, it makes them feel good when you connect with them and, you know, give them a chance to talk back. I think it really helps your blog grow and makes them become not just people who occasionally read your blog, but you know, just people that want to be there and that are excited about hearing from you.
Oh, I have a great story right along these lines. This weekend I found through the Huffington Post a blog called She Just Glows. And it's a really, really cool blog. And she ended up getting on the Huffington Post, one of her blog posts. And then after that, this is insane. Her email list like blew up. I mean, she went from like 200 to 5,000 or something. It was crazy. And then like a couple days later, she had 3 people unsubscribe. And she was totally freaking out, like, what did I do? Why do they hate me? You know, and of course, you know, all the 100,000 good remarks and like shares and subscribes that she got didn't really matter, but those 3 people. But in the comments of this post is where I really want to take the story. She told the story, and then she said, finally, you know, I just have to get over it. You know, start taking the positive in and letting go of like the bad stuff that happens, unsubscribes or whatever. And one of the people, like the very first comment was like, oh my God, I can't believe you just wrote this. Because I subscribed to your list from the Huffington Post article, and I hadn't got another email from you, and I've been waiting and waiting. I even went back into my email settings to make sure that I had whitelisted your email address because I thought maybe I'd missed one. She's like, I was so excited to get another email from you, and I was just wondering where it was. So it really does work like that. And so I started noticing when I subscribe to people lately, like I'll read a really good post and then I'll subscribe because I want more. I want more. And that's why people will subscribe to your list because they want more. So you've got to give it to them. You can't like let that negative Nelly in your head get to you and think, oh well, gosh, I'm just bothering them or I don't know what to say. They want more. So you've got to give it to them.
That's such a cool story.
Yeah, I thought it was too. Because that's happened to me too. I mean, not on such a large scale like getting on HuffPost, but
Yeah.
you know, people say all these great things and then you get one negative comment and you're like, oh, everybody hates me, you know.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You know, somebody might subscribe to your list based on one article or something that they saw from you, and then as they're reading, they realize, oh, this isn't really what I need to be, the information I need right now, and so they unsubscribe. You can't take that personally. It's just, you know, they don't mesh with what you're doing at the moment. You know, it doesn't mean they don't like you. It just means that right now you might not be what they need. So.
Exactly. So let's just dive right in then. The first thing is the type of content that you provide. Now, it's super, super easy to just send a link to your blog post in your email and call it good, and I did that for a really long time.
And I still do that a lot of times.
And I do still do that. I don't think that most of my emails do have a link to my blog post because my content's really good and it's something that people are going to want to read. But there's also so much more that you can send to your list to give them value and to add to their learning and their growing in whatever niche you're in. So you can send reviews. Maybe you just tried a new product and you can send reviews or recommendations. I often do that now, especially with PLR. PLR has gotten so good. Have you noticed that? I sent an email out over the weekend and I realized that I wasn't sending people to the PLR to use it as PLR. I was sending people to actually use it as an educational tool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. That's
so good.
That's a lot of the stuff that I've bought for myself lately. It's been exactly for that because it's just such good information. I want to have it.
Yeah, exactly. So you can send that, or you can send maybe that story that I just told. Maybe you could share that story in your email, or a story similar to that that's relevant to your niche and to your community. Personal stories that relate are always a really good thing. The more personal you can be, the more you can let people into your world and your head, the better, I think. I've definitely noticed an increase in engagement the more personable I am and the more I actually let people get to know me and let down the wall a little bit.
And that's a hard one for me. It's really hard for me to be as personal in my emails and in my blog posts as I want to be, because sometimes I feel like there's just nothing going on in my life that anybody cares about. I send the kids to school, I fix lunch. It's like, who wants to hear about that? So it's a thing about looking for the things that happen in your life, and finding lessons in the things that happen in your life that you can share with people.
Yeah, absolutely. It really is about turning on your blogger brain and wearing your blog-colored glasses all the time. Because, we just spent the week of Hannah riding horses, and I'm pretty sure everyone's totally sick of hearing about it. But the thing is that I could pull about 5 more stories out of the week that would be relevant to blogging. Like, for example, she ended up riding the teacher's horse, who is very much the teacher's horse, and has never really, ridden with kids, and so it didn't really always listen. But she decided to do something a little bit harder. She could have rode an easier horse all week, but she decided to challenge herself and get better by riding this a little bit more difficult horse than she could have. So you can just pull those kind of stories. Blogging is the same thing. You have to choose whether you're going to push yourself and whether you're going to grow or whether you're just going to keep doing the easy thing over and over again because it's easy. So little stories like that, you just have to wear your blog-colored glasses and find the connection point of where this story that really has nothing to do with blogging is somehow connected. And that's how you pull those personal stories in. You just got to find that little point of connection. I did a blog post about that last week, actually.
Yeah.
But it's hard, and it's something that you have to practice because not most people don't walk around in the world wondering how riding a horse relates to blogging. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You mentally look for those places.
Yeah, I did the same thing with my dad quit smoking last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I managed to turn that around into finding the motivation and having that superpower in you where it's basically when you make a decision to do something, you can do it. People think they can't blog, but it's really just making a decision to do it, and you can. And that's the same way my dad quit smoking. After 40 years of smoking and telling me 1,000 times I just can't quit, one day he made a decision, and he hasn't smoked since.
That is so cool.
So, it's yeah.
And personally, those are the kind of things that I like to share in my email. Yes, I could write a whole blog post about them, but not always. Sometimes it's just a little story, and it's not really enough for a whole blog post, so I feel like my email list is a perfect place to share those extras, and it makes it a little bonus for just my email subscribers. It's not all the stuff that everyone gets from me on Facebook or from my blog. It's just special stuff for them.
You froze up for a second. I wasn't sure if you were still talking or not.
Yeah, I was done. That's okay.
Okay.
Okay, good.
So number 2?
Yeah, number 2 is never compromise your list. This one is really interesting to me because I have an older blog that I don't blog on anymore. Some people probably know me from there, from internetmarketingformommies.com. It's still up, and it probably won't be for much longer. But at one point in time, yeah, my hosting's up in a couple months, and I think I'm just going to let it go. But anyway, I know it's a big thing, but it's
end of an era.
End of an era. But anyway, at one point I was, oh my goodness, the kid's fighting with the dog now. I was going to sell it. I was going to sell it, and everyone asked me when I would talk to people about selling it, well, does your list come with it? And I had to think really long and hard, like, am I willing to sell my list? Am I willing to possibly compromise the people that trustingly gave me their email addresses and their names? Am I willing to sell it with the site? And I wasn't, and nobody wanted to buy the site because I wasn't willing to sell the list, but that's okay. The money was not as important to me as the integrity of my list and of my name and reputation online. So that's one way. You never ever want to sell or rent your list out to anyone. It just, go ahead, Kelly.
No, I just completely agree with you. I couldn't imagine doing that to my list, people that trust you,
Exactly.
It seems like such a betrayal.
I know, because, people can say they're going to do one thing, but you never know, even if they said they're going to keep doing the same thing I was doing on that site, they're not me.
Yeah.
And really, all of my sites are about me and my journey to wherever I'm going in that niche or whatever. So it didn't seem right to me, and I wasn't willing to do it. Another thing that is a little bit more likely to happen is a couple things. There's places where you can do ad swaps now, where you can have someone email their list with like your offer, and then you do the same thing for them. And I think it's an okay way. I think it's a great way to build your list. I mean, because you're going to have access to a whole new set of people, and they're going to send it out like your opt-in page to them and whatever your free gift is. So you can get a bigger list that way. But just be really, really careful who you're swapping with, and make sure that you've checked out their offer and that it's something that's going to be decent and something that you personally are going to be okay with sharing with your list, because you don't want to share something crappy with them just to build more subscribers and then lose the faith of all the ones that you already have.
I agree. Make sure that that the whatever you're sharing with them, make sure it's something that they're interested in too. Make sure it's you're not just doing it just to help you. Do it as a way, something that's going to help the people on your list. I try really hard never to look at anything that I send out to my email subscribers. I really try hard not to think of it as what's in it for me, but what's in it for them.
Yeah, for sure. And the last possibility in this section is running ads. Yeah, I mean, so that's what solo ads are all about, is sending an email to somebody else's list. And you can do the same thing. You can have people buy ad space in your list once you get to a certain place. But again, make sure that the ad is relevant and it's something that is of high quality that you're going to want your list to get, because it's coming from you. And if you do run ads in your emails, make sure that you make a little disclaimer there, that people know that you're not necessarily promoting this or recommending this or personally recommending it, but it's an ad, and that people have paid for ad space on your list, and that it's not necessarily coming directly from you. But think hard before you do that, though, because yeah, it's a great way to make money when you have a bigger list and you have an engaged list, but you don't want to compromise your engagement and how people feel about you by running ads that aren't in their best interest.
And there's something just in the fact that you have to put a disclaimer saying I'm not personally recommending it. That right there means I don't even know that I'd want to send it to the people on my list. If it's not something I feel like I can say, hey, I personally recommend this. I'm not even sure I want to send it,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But all
So
the same, it's, even if you do personally recommend it, even if it's something that you've checked out and you're like 100% behind it, it's still a good idea to let them know that you are running it as an ad.
yeah.
Be completely honest and upfront about it. I think that might even be the law. I think it's even the law that you have to tell people. You have to, you have to let people know when you're doing something for money anymore, don't you? With the FCC, isn't that?
Yeah, probably right about that.
So
I don't do that, so I don't know for sure. But yeah, check it out. Check out the laws around that if you decide to do that. So
it's not just a good idea, it's the law.
Oh, that's hilarious. So this next one is something that I've really been working on, and it is to give your list like a familial feel. Like, so you're not just sending out to names and addresses, but you're creating a community. And when you create a community, you talk about it differently. I've stopped talking about the people on my list as subscribers, but I say that they're my email community now because they are. And a simple change in your language can make a huge difference. And again, you can talk about the community, talk about them as a group so they feel connected to not only you, but to each other.
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I thought
Okay.
we were going to say something.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I used to feel like when I was sending out emails, I wanted the person to feel like they were special and they were the only one I was sending it to. But I've learned, over years of doing this, that it's so much more fun to feel like you're part of a group, and to feel like you belong somewhere. And if you can give people that feeling and make them feel like, when they get your email, that they're part of something, it makes them want to be more connected.
Yeah, absolutely. For sure. I think one way to do that, I don't remember where I read this, but it was a while ago. But giving like your people a name is one way to really, like Justin Bieber. I don't know Justin Bieber that well, but I'm pretty sure his people have a name. I can't remember what it is right now. But
Believers.
what?
Believers.
Oh God, really? Yeah, I don't want to do that, but
Your daughter is not old enough for you. That's the
you'd be surprised. Some of her friends are very into Justin Bieber. We just don't have that in our house, so we just got lucky, I think.
Yeah.
But
She's too into horses.
One of the teams that we're part of are the Rebels, and being part of the Rebels has really given that group such cohesiveness, because when you say, hey, I'm a rebel, other people know that they're rebels too, and it makes you feel like a group, a unit, a connection that I haven't had in any other place. And you can do that with your email list. One of the things you can do, you can host challenges for your email people, for your community. Host a challenge. Have them connect with you about the challenge. Have them reply to your email so that you can have that interaction. And then why not just throw out a congratulations or a compliment on any kind of achievement that other people do that are part of your email community, so that it's not just them that you're saying it to, but you're saying it to the whole community. And that just makes you feel amazing when people call you out for good things, like in front of everybody else.
That's a great idea, and I like the idea of sharing things between the people and between your email community, helping them get to know each other.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm really excited about. Is making it a true community, not just me talking to a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But a bunch of people all coming together.
Yeah. So maybe you see like one of your email community members has this awesome blog post, so why not send it to your list?
Yep.
Put them up. It's all about helping people get better and feel good. And yeah, you might not make any money from that list, but do you know what kind of commitment and dedication you're going to create within your community? Because they know that you're in it for them.
Right.
People want that in this world. It's so hard to come by. People are always out for themselves. So when you can connect with people who are actually in it for you, what do you think that creates? I mean, it creates this amazing, amazing thing.
And you know, it's when we talk about these things, sometimes I feel like it sounds calculated, like, you know, like you're pretending to be, you know, but really it's not. You know, this is, you want to build a community, you want to be there for these people. And if you don't, why are you doing this? You know, if you don't really want to help people with your blog, if you're not doing it for other people, you know, why are you doing it really? You might as well just create a bunch of niche sites and sell stuff off of Amazon then. You know, it's, I mean, and if that's what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with that. Lord knows I've done it and still do it. But you know, if you're trying to build a blog where you're connecting with people, you have to keep them in mind. I mean, that's the whole idea behind it.
Yeah, that's so true, and it's a great point because not all blogs have to be this kind of blog. You know, you can do niche sites where you don't have any interaction with people at all. You just, you know, do SEO, get people straight from the search engines right to the product. You be the middleman that gets them there, and that's totally cool. But this is the kind of site that I'm building, that Kelly's building, and that if you want to build, it's kind of the mentality that you have to get.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be in it for them. And by being in it for them, believe me, the money will come to you. I promise.
Yes.
It just becomes a byproduct of, you know, being good in the world and helping other people move forward. Money becomes a byproduct of that. But it does come.
And you know, even if you're doing niche blogs, you know, on which Jackie and I have both done enough to support a small country. There's you know, there's an idea about, you know, this is really kind of totally off from what we're talking about, totally off subject, but you know, with niche blogs, there used to be a day where you could pick a niche, you know, a little tiny niche, and start blogging about it and stuff it with a bunch of keywords, and it would rank in Google and you'd get sales. And that just doesn't really happen anymore quite the same way. It's a lot harder to do now than it used to be with the penguins and the pandas, and there's another one. What's penguins?
I don't know.
I don't remember. The flamingo, I don't know. The idea, you know, now it's way better to have a niche. Like even if your niche is what was that one you had with the bicycle stuff?
Oh yeah.
You didn't have a bicycle niche blog?
Mountain bikes,
You know,
yeah.
even with that, rather instead of just having your keywords and doing product reviews and, you know, selling things that way, if you want to have a bicycle niche blog, it's better now to build a community of people who are into that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and get their trust, you know, and talk to them and make a real community about people, and that's the way to get people to buy your products on your niche blog. It's just, things have changed on the internet, and if you really want to be successful with this, being able to build a community and being able to connect with people is a much better way to go. That's it.
Sorry, it sounds like there's a train running across the upstairs.
Oh.
Sorry. So, just a little bit, kind of back to the first thing that we were talking about. The content that you send. It can be really easy to write out a schedule and say, I'm going to email my list on this day, and this day, and then Wednesday comes and you're supposed to send an email and you really have nothing of relevance or importance or anything big to say because maybe nothing's gone on, maybe you missed a blog post, whatever. You do not want to just send an email just because it's the day you're supposed to send an email when you have nothing to say. Make sure that you've got something to say. If you don't have something to say and it's your day to send an email, go find something to say. You know, look on Facebook. Find something that inspires you. Go to a forum or find something that's relevant to your group, to your community, that's interesting, and share it. Because you don't want to just, oh, here's another link to my blog. You don't want to do that. You want to talk because you have something to say, and you want people to, and it's something that people want to listen to and want to hear.
Something that I read recently is that it was more about getting people to, when people go to a blog post, they read the first couple of lines, and if it doesn't grab them, they leave. And the same thing is true about your emails. So it always is a good idea to have something that really gets people's attention right from the start. And one of the best ways to do that is to tell some kind of a story, even if it's just a couple of lines about something that happened to you over the weekend, or something that leads into what you're going to be talking about in the email. Have a little something that people start reading and like, oh, well, I got to finish this, that just kind of draws them in real quickly and leads them into the rest of the email.
Yeah, and just keep in mind when, if you have a short subject line, that quite a bit of your email might show up in this right in the email area when people look at it, especially if they have Gmail. I've noticed that. And I've noticed there's been a lot of times when I've actually opened emails I didn't plan on opening because I could see the first sentence of the email right there in the subject line area. So keep that in mind, when you're writing your emails, that first sentence needs to be punchy because people can see it, and you want to make that part of, the intrigue and the reason that they're going to click for you.
And if you aren't sure what your people want to hear, if you aren't sure, what the people in your email list are looking for, send out a survey. Ask them what they want to know. Ask them what they're looking for. Always put in your emails. Always give people a chance to reply to you. Tell them, all they have to do is hit reply in your email and send you their questions.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing that you can do is look back through your statistics in your email, in your autoresponder, and see what people clicked on. See what worked. See not only what they opened, but what they clicked through to, and do more of that stuff. I mean, they're telling you right there with their clicks what they enjoy and what they want to know more of.
Yes.
All right, well, our time is almost up. Kelly, do you want to share our very exciting announcement? Woo!
Okay, here's the deal. All this talk about community, Jackie and I have decided to make it a reality, and we're going to be starting a very special, very secret, very private Facebook group just for people who are on our email subscriber list. Jackie has her list, I have my community. We're not combining the communities, but the lists. You'll still get your emails from Jackie, people on my list will get emails from me, but we're going to create one community where everybody can come together. We're going to talk about things that are important to both of us. We're going to answer your questions. You can go there and connect with other people. Ask us what anything you want to know, ask us. Jackie?
Have little challenges for people, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and it's going to be a really great place to make connections, for real. And I have noticed, I know Kelly knows this, that the connection part, it's the part that I fall down on the most, of being consistently connected with people online and in a small group of people can seriously blow up your traffic. I mean, for real. Kelly has just done this amazingly consistently for the last 4 months, and her numbers show it. Her numbers show how important it is to be part of a community where you can connect with other bloggers. So I highly, highly, highly recommend that if you are not on one of our lists, that you get there so you can be a part of it too.
If you're watching this you should be watching this on one of our blogs, most likely. Maybe if in YouTube, if you could put a link in the comments to both blogs, so people can do one if they want to. Yeah. If somebody happens to be watching this on YouTube. But if you're watching this on one of our blogs, there'll be a link underneath the video somewhere where you can click it, or to the side or somewhere where you can go and join one of our email lists.
Do you have this on a page that stays the same all the time on your blog?
I do.
Yeah, tell us that address then.
It's thetakeactionwom.com/blogging workshop.
Blogging workshop?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and mine is...
If you just go to my blog, thetakeactionwom.com, it's up in the title. You can click on blog workshop.
Awesome. And mine is itsawhamlife.com/blog workshop. and there'll be an opt-in box at the bottom of that where you can get on the list if you're not already there. And stay tuned for an email later this afternoon, which will give you all the instructions and exciting ways to get started in that new community.
Yay! I'm so excited. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I'm really excited. I'm so excited to be making it happen. I feel like I'm making things happen.
I've been talking about this for a really long time, and we finally are taking action. So it is very exciting, not only for you guys, but for us as well. And we can't wait to get to know you a little bit better in the new group. So opt in if you haven't opted in yet, so that you can get our wonderful emails and all this juicy nuggets and become part of our live and group. All right?
Yeah. Yes.
All right. We will see you there, guys, and we again will see you next week for another episode of the Blog Workshop right here at 10 a.m. Central, same time, same place, next Monday. We'll see you then. Have a great week.
Bye.